In this video, I'm going to show you how to complete your profile. The last piece of the profile is getting recommendations. Now, see, if I click on edit over here, it says profile is 85%, edit, and it says ask for recommendation. It's 5%. So that's the next step, is asking for recommendations. And what this does is makes it so you can ask people, will you recommend me? And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'll show you the most effective solution, which is to send recommendations. For this, I need to have some connections. I don't have any connections in this because it's a test account. But what I'd like to do is I'm going to log out here and I'm going to sign in under my main account, which has connections, so I can show you this process. I'm going to pause the video while I do it. Alright, so this is my main account, which has a lot of connections in it. And, I have 171 connections. What you can do here is recommendations. You click on recommendations under profile on the left hand side. And you'll see I have a recommendation waiting. So this is great for what I'm looking for. I want to show you something. When someone sends you a recommendation, view here. I'm not really sure why I don't see the recommendation that it's talking about that has been sent. But if we go back to recommendations, what I recommend that you do is you send recommendations instead of asking for recommendations, which is the standard way. And this is the way I did it too when I first started out. Is I just asked a bunch of the people in my connections. So you can go through and ask for recommendations. You just click on your and you just select people that you might have worked with, and it adds them to your people to ask, and you follow these steps and you can ask for an endorsement, a recommendation. Now that's fine, and that'll work, and you'll get some recommendations that way. What I would recommend that you do, no pun intended, is go to your contacts, and find people that you've worked with and then in the upper right hand corner you click on their name, and that brings you to their profile. And then in the upper right hand corner you have recommend this person. When you recommend someone, right after they get the recommendation, this is what I wanted to show you, but I'll just have to describe it instead. They get the recommendation, and it says, it asks them to approve it. They can approve it or not, and they approve it so that it goes into their profile. Once they approve it, the next thing it does is it asks them if they want to return the favor and recommend you. So one of the best ways that you can get recommendations is to give recommendations, because I'd say the odds are about 50-50 that person, if they can, will recommend you back. It's just set up to work that way. So the best thing you can do is go through and start writing recommendations for people. Writing a recommendation is easy. You select the position that she was at, and fill out the 3 top things, write a recommendation. I also suggest, just from the standpoint of making your recommendations as effective as possible, that you're specific. So instead of saying, in this case, Nita is an acupuncturist, instead of saying, she was great to work with, I'll recommend her to my friends and family, etc., just general praise, which is good too. Then you might say, after my 3rd treatment, my back pain went away, and then the more general. So starting out with something more specific will be a more effective recommendation. So that's how I recommend. There are 2 different ways. I'll just briefly overview them again. 2 different ways to get recommendations. One is to recommend your friends, recommend the other people that you've connected with. And the other way is to go to recommendations and request recommendations. And that's, you just fill out this form. You click on N. Now you might miss that. Let me show you that again here. Finish. See, as a little N button here. That's what I'm doing. I'm clicking on that in order to add contacts from my network. And that's why I said in my last video, you want to wait until you get some connections before you do this. But, once you have some recommendations, then you're ready to go to the next step. Thanks.